Hi everyone, Linda from Let's Talk Prepping. And things are really getting bad out there. If this continues, we could be in a world of trouble. And what I want to know is, why isn't anyone doing anything? Where are the churches? Why aren't they organizing peace marches? Why aren't people saying, look, we can't have nuclear Armageddon. We can't have this. Where is the peace? Why aren't we trying for peace? Why aren't the people just saying, hey, let's do something about this? Why don't the majority of people think anything's going to happen? They seem to be complacent, just sitting back saying, oh, well, the Cuban Missile Crisis was resolved peacefully. This will be resolved peacefully. I hope they're right, but I would like to see a grassroots effort for peace around the world, but definitely peace between Russia and Ukraine, and that would mean the US and China and Taiwan and everybody in between. So let's go over here and just look at a few of the headlines that are occurring. Okay, we're over here at whiskeytangotexas.com, whiskeytangotexas.com. Russia launches large-scale strikes on some 20 Ukrainian cities in response to terrorist Crimean bridge blast. So that's one thing that's heating up now. Biden promises Zelensky further advanced air defense systems after attack, and this from ZeroHedge.com. So Biden is promising more weapons for them, especially advanced air defense systems. And I guess I want to know, why is he saying this? Why isn't he saying, hey, Zelensky, let's start looking at peace. Hey, Putin, let's do something about peace. And then here I'm at AmericanMilitaryNews.com. And Biden administration, trans women must register for draft. Trans men don't have to. So he said that transgendered women who are born male must register for the Secret Service, otherwise known as the military draft. And this is something, all male U.S. citizens and male immigrants. Does this mean the illegals, the ones that are crossing our southern border, who are 18 through 25, are required to register with the Selective Service? And that website states that all biological males must register for the draft, including U.S. citizens or immigrants who are born male and have changed their gender to female. So I thought that was interesting. Does that mean a draft is closer at hand when people are talking about this now? I don't know, but I think it's scary times, and maybe we should be trying to stop everything that's going on by marching. This is from thetruthseeker.co.uk. Thetruthseeker.co.uk. Americans better wake up and realize the Russians are generally pissed off. So they're basically saying that Russia is quite upset with the United States and how we're funneling money. And it says, the American people need to understand that Russia ain't playing and is not going to roll over and submit like a beaten dog just because the United States insists it will continue to funnel arms and money to Ukraine. And I think we as people of the United States have to realize this too, and somehow have a grassroots effort for peace. And again, the truthseeker.co.uk. Russia just changed the rules of the game, and this is October 10th, 2022. Over 100 missiles and drone strikes all across all cities and regions of the Ukraine, and we've been hearing this, so that's probably nothing new to you. All European countries are now once again advising evacuation of embassy staff and citizens. And they end basically in this article, as I have suspected since the Nord Stream sabotage, this war has been threatening to kick off onto an even more sinister level. Today it just did that. Surely at some point an adult in the room will stand up and shout peace. Yet, even as I type this, The EU speaks only of more sanctions. If this attitude doesn't change, I'm afraid we will wake up many more mornings such as this one. So we have this, seeing how things are getting worse out there. Then if we go over here from shtfplan.com, it's an inconvenience. Cyber attack hits websites of major U.S. airports. Now, I didn't even hear this, and supposedly it was on ABC News. And 3 o'clock this morning, some of the major airports were hit with a cyber attack. And this is ABC News here. And they report it. Some of the nation's largest airports have been targeted by an attacker within the Russian Federation. I don't know, do they really know it was the Russian Federation? Sometimes I think they just say these things. Over a dozen airport websites were impacted by the denial of service attack. Around 3 a.m. it happened. LaGuardia Airport had been hit. The websites for Des Moines International, Los Angeles International, and Chicago O'Hare International Airport appear impacted Monday morning. They got the sites back up and running, and at no time were operations at the airport impacted. But it's just another thing that's happening, that things are just getting worse out there. And then one last thing here from, again, shtfplan.com. Donald Trump's ominous warning, we will end up in World War III and there will be nothing left of our planet. And again, that's October 10th today. I think he said this a while ago, but the article is today. We have been warned over and over again about what will happen if we stay on the path that we are currently on. So why aren't the American people demanding a peaceful resolution to the conflict in Ukraine? And I might just say that I think most of the people are just going about their daily lives worrying how they're going to pay for rent and pay for food, and not even thinking how this is going to impact them. And I think they just brush off this nuclear war talk as nothing will happen. It's never happened before, and it's not going to happen now. And I hope they're right. If the American people truly understood what was at stake, we would be seeing absolutely massive protests in all of our major cities right now. Once the nuclear war starts, there will be no turning back. Our nation will be destroyed, and hundreds of millions of people will die. A lot of you out there have big plans for the future, but there will be no future for America if nuclear missiles start flying. Trump believes that if a peaceful end to the conflict in Ukraine cannot be found soon, we will end up in World War III and there will be nothing left of our planet. We must demand the immediate negotiation of a peaceful end to the war in Ukraine, or we will end up in World War III. There will be nothing left of our planet, all because stupid people didn't have a clue. They didn't have a clue, Trump said. They don't understand. They really don't understand. And I guess that's true. Most people don't have a clue. But it's the people in charge who are the stupid people who don't have a clue. I think they know what's going to happen, and they're willing to let it happen for some reason. He says the current group that is running our foreign policy is really stupid. I really wish that more Americans could understand this. Joe Biden is a hothead in an advanced state of mental decline, and nobody really seems to care that he has dementia. And he has surrounded himself with an all-star team of warmongers. If they keep doing what they're doing, they're going to get us nuked. Instead of looking for a peaceful way out of the mess, both sides just continue to escalate matters. We just witnessed a stunning attack on the bridge. The bridge was a pet project of Putin. Needless to say, he's extremely angry about what has just happened. He's calling it a terror attack, and he blamed Ukrainian special forces. And when Putin meets his Security Council, they will inevitably decide to hit back really hard, possibly going after Ukrainian infrastructure. Ukraine should be plunged into dark times. Bridges, dams, railways, thermal power plants, and other infrastructure facilities should be destroyed throughout Ukraine. And they say they think it's a very real possibility. Putin has tried to play nice up to now and not taken down the Ukrainian power grid. But it should be really easy for the Russians to do that. And it will come just before the severely cold weather in Ukraine begins. And he doesn't think Putin will use the tactical nuclear weapons because that'll lead to a full-blown nuclear war. And it says Biden understands we're getting dangerously close to nuclear conflict, so why won't he pull us back from the brink while there is still time? And the Ukrainians wouldn't have attacked the bridge if we hadn't given them the okay. And they believe the CIA cooked up the operation. And they have a much larger presence of both CIA and U.S. Special Operations personnel and resources in Ukraine than there was at the beginning of the war. From what I am hearing, the author of this article, the U.S. intelligence community is very much involved in running the show over there at this point. But most Americans don't even know that we have personnel on the ground in Ukraine. Most of our fellow citizens just assume this war is a conflict between the Russians and the Ukrainians. I wish that was true. It's a proxy war between the United States and Russia and has gone to a whole new level. So more escalations are inevitably coming. I really hope that those that hear Donald Trump's warning will take it to heart. This is not a game. If a nuclear war happens, it will be the end of our country. So let's pray for peace because the alternative is unthinkable. So please, let's do something. Let's get some peace protests going. Let's get your church involved. Let's get out there and just say, no more war. Or get us out of the war, which is not going to happen. So we have to have peace negotiations somehow, some way. And if you have any idea of what we can do to stop this before it gets further along, please leave it in the comments below. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And thanks again for watching.